Hi, and welcome to Transparent with Tina, a holistic approach for mental, physical, and spiritual well being so you can become the best version of yourself. Welcome to Transparent with Tina. I am Tina Marx, your host. My guest today is an award winning media personality, international media expert, and sought after expert authority coach with over 25 years of experience in broadcasting, branding, and business growth. She's guided thought leaders, coaches, authors, and entrepreneurs worldwide in positioning themselves as the trusted go-to authorities in their industry. Voted Best Broadcaster at the Women's Podcaster Awards and recognized as a 5 times #1 best-selling author. She's also the host of 3 podcasts and runs her Authority Accelerator Mastermind program at her official website, expertauthoritycoach.com. Welcome, Christine Blosdale. Nice to
Thank
meet
you,
you,
Tina.
Christine.
I am so excited. It's like Christmas morning because I've been really
Ah,
looking forward to talking to you, girl. You're amazing. You are just phenomenal in your own right. So, I
ah.
feel very grateful to be
Well,
with you. Thank
the
you.
feeling is mutual. I mean, I went on your website and I'm like, man, you've got a lot to offer. And like we were talking beforehand, well, you've been doing this a little while, like 25
Oh,
years, right?
oh,
So
a long time.
why don't you tell us, your backstory? How did you get involved with this?
I was really, I think ever since I was a little kid, I pay very much attention to detail.
Mm.
And ever since, I mean, even when I was like 5 years old, I remember my mom would be getting ready. She was a single mom. We lived in Los Angeles. Back in the day, it wasn't really good for single moms. She had no money, so she had to go to work. And I would be little Christine sitting there watching her get ready. She put on her makeup. My mother was beautiful. Like, sh
Mm.
guys would crash their cars if she was walking down the street,
My mom was,
right? She looked like Cher.
oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, that exotic, right? So
Exotic.
she'd be
Yeah.
getting ready and she'd put her makeup on and she'd have her put on her clothes and she'd go, "How do what do you think? How do I look?" And she's from Morocco, so she had a little accent. And I looked at her and I go, I don't think that those boots go with that skirt. I think you need to put those boots on and change the skirt." And I would tell her what my thought, what I thought, and she would do it. This is a grown ass woman
Wow.
who
Wow.
would change her outfit based on her 5 year old daughter's opinion. And what that did is it solidified in my mind too that my opinion mattered at a really young
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
And so that just,
Just for a little interjection there, I do the same thing with my son. If I'm going out or something,
oh, that's so good.
yeah, and I'll be like, nah, darn, he's right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
which
he's
earring?
right.
He's always right. Yeah, he's got a great fashion sense. But I love the fact that you said that your opinion mattered. Okay, that's a great
Yes.
start.
Because the days of children should be seen and not heard, type thing. That was
Mhm.
not in our household at all. My mom gave me lots of confidence, always told me she loved me, so I already had a lot of confidence, growing up. But then you get thrown into like the school system and all that crazy stuff, and you doubt yourself, and I did always have that ability to look at things, and if I see a painting in a restaurant and it's just a little off, I'm the person that gets up and goes and adjusts it, right? I can't sit there and just keep eating when something is askew.
Wow. Yeah.
So that hyper attention to detail has helped me throughout my whole life. I got very lucky at a relatively young age to work for America Online back in the day when all we had was America Online. There was no Facebook, there was no TikTok, nothing. It was AOL. And I was just really lucky. I got a spot being a writer for the entertainment column, one of the main channels in AOL, and it was a very popular column called the Daily Fix. And the Daily Fix, I basically wrote. I had a deadline at like 6 a.m. in the morning, so I had to write in the middle of the night. But I wrote through a cartoon character, and I got to go to the premieres. I got to interview celebrities, movie reviews, all of that. And I learned how to communicate to a very wide audience. Now I have a very niche. I mean, my target, my clientele base are women 30, 35 and up, right? That are solopreneurs, coaches, entrepreneurs, authors. But then it was my audience was anyone from 8 to 80. And so I had to write in such a way that
Mm.
everybody understood what I was writing, but it was also fun and cheeky.
Not easy. Yeah. Wow.
I call it the Shrek effect. And it was way before Shrek movies. But Shrek is something that, all ages can
Everybody
enjoy,
relates to. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's how I honed my craft in on communicating and writing in that format. And then I was doing all the Hollywood stuff, and then 9/11 happened, and I was like, "Oh my God, do people really care about who Angelina Jolie is dating or what Drew Barrymore is wearing or it like at that moment, I think everybody remembers what happened, where they were when that happened, 9/11, and it
Hmm.
just gave me a real reality shift, and I wanted to do something more with more purpose,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Right.
And so I
Isn't it
was
how
searching.
interesting how things happen to us? And if we really absorb it, it can shift our lives. But oftentimes we don't do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
It
Oftentimes we don't.
totally changed my life.
Yeah.
Totally changed my life. And I'd have friends go, "What do you mean? You get to go to all the premieres. You get to." I wasn't starstruck. It's
Yeah.
part of the reason why I was good at what I did because I was not a starstruck person. But when
It,
9/11 happened, I said, why like everybody, why do they hate us? And all these things. And then I was searching for something. And that's what happens, as we know, Tina, when your heart wants something and you're looking for it, a lot of times it'll come to you. And in Los Angeles, you always do the radio surfing, you're stuck in traffic, so you got to listen to the radio. And I stopped onto this channel, this station that was really unique. And it wasn't all fear based because back then it was all fear, fear, fear. And it was really analyzing and talking about the history of US foreign policy in the Middle East. And I was like, oh, they didn't teach us this. What? What?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Because
didn't know.
we are a fear-based society here.
And we don't teach our children the real true history of what we do in other countries.
Yes.
So I got a really quick education just listening to this radio station. I said, you know what? I'm going to go down there and thank them. So
You
I,
really
yeah.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I got in my car. I went to the radio station. I came from a place of gratefulness, and I just said, is it okay? I walked to the receptionist. There's no security either. They just let me walk in. I go, is it okay to go around and just tell people how grateful, how thankful I am that they're doing the job that they do? And the guy said, oh my God, you're not here to complain? That's awesome. Yeah, go ahead. So I just walked around. I poked my head in, and I'm like, "Thank you, for the job you're doing. I really appreciate it." Blah blah blah. And they go, "So, who are you, and what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I work for America Online. I write, an entertainment column. I go to Hollywood things." And they go, "That's great. You should think about volunteering." And I was like, "Oh, I could do that." They said, yeah. I said, well, I don't want to be on the microphone. They go, oh, no, we don't have any spots for that. You can be a writer, though. And so I started volunteering writing and getting into that. And I loved it. And then the writing moved into producing. So I was a producer for hosts that were on air. And then that Hollywood story of, oh, the star can't make it, the star broke their
You
leg.
need to fill in.
Yes, Christine, you need to get on the microphone. It's 5 o'clock drive time, and you need to get on the mic and start talking. And I was petrified. I was like, no way. That's not what I do. I don't feel comfortable. And they said, well, you don't have any choice. You have to do it because the host is not here and there's nobody else that's going to be able to do it. So I get into the studio. I pull the microphone. I put the cans on, as they say in the industry, headphones. The on-air light goes on, and Tina, it was like my whole life started all over again. It was as soon as that on-air light went on, I just connected with the audience, even though I couldn't see them. I couldn't hear them, but I could feel them and they could feel me. And I just started
Mm-hmm.
talking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I opened up the phone lines, which is really risky to do. I mean, if you've ever,
I've had
you
that done, and you get some weird people doing. I mean,
you
even on
get
when I do Instagram lives, you get weirdos on there too. So
you
yeah, no,
get weirdos.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
put this like protective bubble or something around. I was like, you know what? my intention was the people that need to be heard should come through. Everybody
Yes.
else can just like, be on hold. And it was a great first time. And then that just started me in my
Christine, how do
career.
you, this sounds very spiritual. This sounds like you were like really
Yeah,
connected. Like most people come in the world, we all come in very connected. And then, then things happen.
we lose it.
I am assuming this is attributed to your mother because she made you feel seen and heard and confident. And
Yeah.
you weren't tarnished at that point. You were a little afraid doing something new, of course.
Yes.
Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
Absolutely.
So do I. And so that was not a coincidence, right?
No. It
And
was
and
yeah.
do you also believe what scares you the most is sometimes the direction you need to go?
Absolutely.
They
I have
say
clients that have
if your
imposter
dream
syndrome. Yeah.
they
And
say
they're afraid. And it's like, you don't understand walking through that door. It could be something that is like the most important thing in your life, or that person that you're supposed to meet is on the other
exactly.
side of that door.
And you know
Yeah.
what? If it's brought to you, you're ready, right? And they say if
Yeah.
you're not scared, your dreams aren't big enough. I love that one because I spoke in front of a high school. I was so nervous. Same thing though. The minute I got out there, the reception and the high school, the person that had hired, I guess she was the principal, said, "I just want to let you know, the last person that we had, they were booing and they were looking at their."
Oh, God.
I'm like, I mean, I'm already scared enough, right? And the whole time I had their attention. Nobody was looking at their phones. Nobody, in fact, they came up and were asking me for my autograph after. But just
Oh,
a
how
really good
cute.
example. And I think this is really good that we're talking about this because a lot of people we're so afraid of stepping into our greatness. It's really what it's about, right?
Yes.
We're
And
gonna
that's
get.
what I do. And that's what I do now with my clients.
Hmm.
Is these are very talented people with a lot of experience and a lot of expertise, but they're afraid to come forward. And
Yeah,
I think we as women also are have been taught that, your dreams and passions are not that important. It's everybody else. You need to worry about the family and the thing and this. And we're stepping into that now. And so we're not used to that. And when you're uncomfortable with something, when you have to stretch your synapses, I like to say, right?
hmm
It
hmm
can be uncomfortable and it can be scary. And the number one thing, what it is that we're worried. It's wired into our brain. We're worried about being thrown out of the cave.
hmm
Okay. We're
hmm
worried that people are going to make fun of us.
hmm
What are people going to think? They're going to think I'm stupid. They're going to think I'm fat. They're going to think I'm old, whatever. And they're going to throw me out of the cave. And that's hardwired.
Yep.
So to get around that with the clients that I work with, and it's a genuine fear,
Mhm.
is I say it's not about you, darling. It's about the people you want to serve.
Yes, it's about your intention. That's how
Yes.
I get my clients out of fear and out of their own way. I don't
Yes.
want to make my calls. Don't make your calls if you're going to be making your calls like, oh my God, I'm bothering them or I'm being too. Don't bother because your energy
No.
is going to, if you call up and your intention is, how can I best serve you today? It's going to come through on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that and if you don't show up because you're worried about how you're going to look or what people might think, then you're doing a disservice to the people that you want. If you're a fitness coach and you don't show up, those people are not going to get the fitness help that they need to live a
Absolutely.
healthier life.
You're
So
right on. Exactly.
that helps people with that. But we all go through it. And it's you know who imposter syndrome or that type of feeling happens to the most? High achievers.
I
High
had that for
achievers.
years. I had that for
Yeah.
most of my life. I mean, I just did all this internal work, and I was, I realized that I had anxiety, and I couldn't get out of my own way. And I think you're absolutely right. That does come from. And when I look back, I never gave myself enough credit. I look back and I'm like, I had 3 local talk shows. I did this. I mean, like, oh, I forgot I did that too. I forgot I wrote 2 books. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, never really gave myself credit for it. And so, yeah, I think, yeah, yeah,
It's something that that's why I say, like, if we put our focus on the people that we want to serve, then it takes that pressure off of us a bit more. It's still it's people. It doesn't matter. Like you can have all the credentials in the world. You can have all the diplomas and all the. I have some of the most amazingly talented, gifted clients, and they still, even in their 60s and 70s, still have that imposter syndrome thing that creeps up. And we just work on it. We work on it and we have them show up in different ways that they're comfortable, right?
Well, and the other
So,
thing is, there's nobody else like you.
no,
Nobody else like you. You need to focus
no.
on that more than trying to be somebody else. Or that's why, honestly, I don't like to scroll Instagram or anything like that because I think we all, whether that's business or, oh, they just somebody, it looks like everybody's getting engaged or everybody's on vacation or everybody just bought a new house, and because people are trying to show the best sides. Are they really showing the other side? And I think if we saw more of the raw, real other side, it would balance out a lot more. But,
That's the key, I think, for moving forward. The days of the Kardashian and the days of the perfectionism. Look, Hollywood is crumbling. Politics are crumbling. The
yes.
star, the perfect person we think has all this money and fame, and oh my gosh, I wish I was like, that's all coming to an end. And what people are craving is authenticity.
Authenticity, absolutely number one. Absolutely.
Absolutely. You see it on TikTok. People who are authentic. They're not wearing they don't need to wear makeup. They need to be authentic,
Yes,
right?
that was one of my questions. I mean, what do you think is the most important thing uh, for being a podcaster? Would it? I think we just answered that because I was going to say a lot of people think, oh, I got to have the right sound, or I've got to have the right background, or I've got to have the right setup, and you can't do it on Zoom because you see all these people and they're doing it in their living rooms and stuff like that. But I think that as long as you bring the message and you're authentic and you participate, like I always, when I'm
Yes.
interviewing somebody, I always share about my life too. I'm not just
Yeah.
like, you're the one on the stand. I'm not going to share because I just heard that the other day too, that the most successful podcasters are the ones that there's somebody called Alex Cooper. Have you heard of her?
Mm-mm. No, I haven't.
Bethany Frankel was just interviewed by her. I mean, and she's young. I think she's like 20 something years old. She's got like 5 million followers. Hulu's doing a docu-series on her. And the reason people are going crazy for her is because she's so transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People they want real now. They don't want the dynasty Kardashian,
I love that you
type
said that.
lifestyle.
Yeah, because they want to
And
be
that's
real.
why,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, because we need something to hold on to as a society, as a culture, as human beings in this moment. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know
A
if I'm
lot.
explicit or not, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff going on, and we
Mhm.
need something that we can hold on to. And so that's why I tell every single client of mine, you need to show up, be authentic. You need to
Mhm.
actually look at people in the eyeball and say, "This is who I am." And when I advising on people's websites, I'm like, "Why don't you have a welcome video? Why don't you got all
Yeah.
this text and all these and some photos of you and photo shoots and stuff like that, and but copy lots of text." I said, why don't you just start off with a video that welcomes them to your world and just say who you are and what you do so that they can see you, they
You
can
know, I've
feel
heard,
you.
I've heard that when people see you on video, they know immediately if they want to work with you or not.
Boom.
So you're like trimming the fat. So you don't even have to do call or
Exactly.
anything else.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
And you mentioned earlier like how you pay attention to detail, which is I do you find a lot of your clients that's what the problem is, or like it's just so broad.
I
They're
find that they're overwhelmed. Like
mm,
most entrepreneurs, they're ever overwhelmed with, I need to be a marketing guru, I need to do advertising, I need to do social media, I need to
yes.
do this, I need to do that. And then just the basics of doing their work, their craft,
Yeah.
right? So they're overwhelmed and they don't know where to go. So what happens is when you have too many choices, you choose none and you stay stagnant.
That's been me too. And when you're approached all the time, I'm approached daily. Can I help you with your Instagram or social media or write copy for you? And it's like too
No,
many, yeah, too many options on.
no, no, and no.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
exactly.
have you done your human design yet, Tina? Do you know
Yes,
what you are?
what do you think
What
I
are
am?
you?
What do you think I am?
I don't know if you're like, I think you're like me. Are you a projector?
Yes. Need a lot of downtime. And you
Hey
know what?
guys, okay, let's talk skincare. For most of my adult life, I had a hate relationship with my skin. I struggled with adult acne, discoloration, large pores, psoriasis, and fine lines. I swear, all that changed when I started using herbal face food. I mean, this stuff is powerful. We're talking the world's most potent antioxidant and anti blemish formula. And the serum is the number one anti aging serum in the world, made entirely from 100% botanical plants. No chemicals, no synthetics, 100% all natural. Whether you're dealing with fine lines, dark spots, sun damage, rosacea, psoriasis, melasma, or just want that all day healthy glow, Herbal Face Food has your skin covered. Literally. I've been using all their products for 3 years now, and let me tell you, it's like green juice for your face, only stronger. Remember, whatever you put on your skin goes in your body. So, this is a really important point here, seeing that it's 100% all natural. Give it a try. It's got a 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. You can check them out at herbalfacefood.com. Use promo code TINA20 for 20% off your entire order. That's herbalfacefood.com because your skin deserves the best.
Time. And you know what? Whoever is listening, you really need to know what your
Yes.
design is, because for the more that you know yourself, the more you can love yourself. And what I used to beat myself up for was, if well, first of all, I up until this last year, I was in fight or flight all the time. I just thought that was normal. Like
Yeah.
any kind of rest was a luxury for me and this and that. But we as projectors, we need a lot of downtime to recalibrate,
Yep.
regroup, and everything else. Now then there's the manifestors, and then there's the generators, which is exactly what it sounds like. The people that go, 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 go. And those people, I was like, why can't I be like that? Why can't I work 12 hours a day? Am I being lazy? And all these stories you start to tell yourself. But once you understand this is part of your makeup, then you can kind of
Yes.
relax into it a little bit more. Yeah.
It's part of your genius.
Part of your genius. Yeah.
And it's also as you get older too, you find that you don't like, I mean, I just turned 61 and I am at a point where I do not do things that I don't want to do. And in my 20s, in your 20s, you want to please everybody. Oh, okay, I'll do that, or I'll go there, or I'll try that. Okay, whatever. And
Yeah.
then when you get to a certain age, you go, yeah, no, no, I don't want to do that. And you do need to have that time for yourself, but also with the frustrating thing about projectors, and once I learned this, I got, oh, okay, is that uh it's not about us going and pushing our brand out there and saying, hire me, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, I need trying to get clients that way. You need to sit back and be in your genius and wait for the offers to come to you, which
Yes.
which is frustrating. Right?
Well, it
It
is
can
and
be
it
very
is and it's
frustrating.
not though. And this is my approach to all of my clients. And I just got a really sweet email like 2 days ago. I only had like 2 or 3 calls. She was a transfer client, and she says, I really like your coaching style. I've never had a coach like that before. And I say to my clients, like the number one thing that we're doing is we're attracting. We're not forcing
Yeah.
anyone. And it's
Yeah.
everything opposite of what we've been taught. Work harder, work, longer. No, that is completely the opposite. I say the number one thing I want you to do, I want you to stay in a high frequency of joy and fun. And when you do that, and your frequency is high, your energy frequency is high, you cannot accept be a match for people that are like that. Now, when you start, getting doubtful of yourself, or you're feeling guilty or shame because you didn't make your calls, now you're gonna bring in all the bottom feeders, right?
Absolutely.
Oh God,
Absolutely. And the power of words. You know the power. That's why they call it spelling, right? You're casting a spell. And so I'm also very, very, very cautious in the words that I use with my clients, of course, but also most importantly with myself. And
yes.
so anytime you say I am, even if you say I'm sorry, no, 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 because that you're sending that also out into the universe. But most people, what they do is they come from a field of scarcity. They
Yes.
feel that there's not enough. And when you are confident in yourself, which that will take some work, But when you're confident in yourself and you're able to sit back and you say, you know what, I'm going to do what I enjoy. I'm a creator. So I'm going to create I'm going to put my little seeds in the pots and water them and see them grow and be confident in that. You will attract those people. All of my clients that are in my world, I love them.
Yeah.
They're my
You've
friends.
attracted your tribe, so to speak. I mean, it doesn't have to
Exactly.
be friends. It's your business people too. Absolutely. And you know what? And not be attached to any outcome either, right?
No.
You plant the seed. And I'm going back to the I am, because I have almost all of my clients listen to I am affirmations every morning with binaural beats going in the background.
Yeah.
Because whatever you put after that word becomes your reality.
It's powerful.
And that, like, the first thing is awareness, and also what you're thinking too. Stop that.
Yes, what you're thinking is very, very powerful.
But what comes out of your mouth, you speak it into existence. I say that, is that what you want? Well, of course not. That's what I want. Well, you're speaking it to the universe. It's not going to decipher whether you want that or you don't. It takes it literally. And your subconscious mind, and yeah. All right. Well, we have to talk about. I haven't even gotten into what you do. Okay, so let's get back on track here. But well, you can see my passion, because I love talking to people like this, and this is what I'm trying to bring forward. And you're doing it in your business, and that's what I'm doing this podcast. And it's just, if you get that, you got the world by the balls.
You do. Yeah, that's a great bumper sticker.
It's true. It's true. So we've been kind of talking about this, but what keeps so many talented entrepreneurs from becoming the go-to authority in their niche? And how does your authority accelerator framework help them break through that wall?
Yeah. So what I find is, some people are going to have a little bit of that, imposter syndrome thing that they need to bust through. And what I do is I actually go in the world, and we peel apart everything, and I pluck all of the gems that I see. Again, as that kid that was saying, that skirt and those boots, I'm the one who goes in and looks at things and goes, that's a gem. Let's put that in your crown. That's a gem. Let's put that in your crown. And they'll even say, they go, oh, I forgot that I even did that. I forgot that I.
Yeah. Yes. You see the golden ticket in everybody.
The golden ticket. Exactly. Yeah. And so then my job is to basically present them to the world through that lens, right? So we create a media kit. The media kit is something, it's great for being a guest on a podcast, talking to people, pitching yourselves to use it on your website. But the media kit is more for my client and myself. I have my own media kit. This is one-sided. Usually the other ones I have.
That's the one I was looking at on your website. Yeah.
But your media kit reminds you who you are.
I knew you were going to say that. So
it's your mantra,
but it's for you. Yes. Yes.
So you will always see it, because in our world, we look through these eyes and we look out into the world, and we might see, oh, I got to clean that up, or, oh, I got to do that. I got to do that. When you look at your media kit, and that's why I tell all my clients, we're going to create your media kit. With all the gems that you have right in your little tiny bio. It also helps so that when people say, what do you do? You don't go, oh, what do I do? I do everything. I hate that. So you can be specific. You say, this is what I do, and this is how I help people, right? Right. So I say you're going to have that in front of you, next to your computer, wherever your eyes can see it, so that you are reminded constantly how good
so my doctor says that we don't die from old age, we die from inflammation. And I couldn't agree more. When I found him a couple of years ago, I was not in great shape. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and he found out it was all related to my gut. Did you know that 90% of your dopamine and 90% of your serotonin are made in your gut? Okay, so I have been on all of his products ever since that day, but the ones that I want to talk to you about are the alkalizers. He's got one for coffee and he's got one for alcohol. What do? They make the beverage from acidic to alkaline, which is so important because if your body is too acidic, it is a breeding ground for disease. So you want to keep your body in an alkaline balance. So with the coffee, it comes either for black coffee or it comes flavored as a creamer. I love the flavored ones. Vanilla is my favorite, but I also love the hazelnut. They're all delicious. One scoop, and it does not break your fast, for one. It changes your body, your coffee from acidic to alkaline, which you don't have to feel guilty about drinking coffee anymore. And the one for alcohol does the same thing. 5 drops into any alcoholic beverage, and it will make it from acidic to alkaline, meaning no hangover. It doesn't change the taste. It doesn't change the color. And best of all, it doesn't change the buzz. You can still drink and enjoy yourself, all the while knowing that you're not causing inflammation in your body. So go to www.getoffyouracid.com and use the promo code Tina Marx 20. Again, that's www.getoffyouracid.com and use the promo code Tina Marx 20.
And that you've accomplished a lot of shit. Like, don't doubt yourself all the time.
Right.
So we start there, and then we work depending on their business. I have some clients. I have one client I spoke to yesterday who's a rock star, right? She's a public speaker, like Fortune 500, and she's like dynamic. And she goes, I just want you to tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong. And I said, are you sure you want me to do? She goes, yeah, I want you to be blunt and honest and just tell me what I'm doing wrong. Look at my website, look at my thing, look at my offers. And I said, I told her, I said, you're spread out. You're all over the place.
I knew you were going to say that too. I knew.
Yeah, I don't know what it is that you do because you do everything. And I don't know what to choose. Where are you based out of, Tina?
I'm in California in Palm Springs. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love Palm Springs. Okay. So in LA, there's a place called Jerry's Deli.
I know. I used to live there. Yeah, I love Jerry's.
Okay. In Jerry's Deli, if you open up the menu, first of all, it's the size of a human.
Oh,
you open up the menu, and there's 1,000 different things to pick from. And what happens is that every single time I go there, I pick the same damn thing.
Because you're overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed. So I just get matzo ball soup and potato pancake. Thank you. Right? Now, what happens for the most part is when people go to your website or they go to find out about you and you have all this stuff that they have to sift through, they max out. Their brain shuts down and they leave because they don't know and they don't have time to figure it out. So you have to tell them right away, this is what I do. This is who I help. Are you that person? Do you need that help? That's it. Right? And all that other stuff can come in. Can I help people create a podcast? Yes. But is that my main message? No.
Yeah, right.
Can I help people create TikToks and edit videos? Yeah. But is that my main message?
No. That's not where your area of expertise is. And I say the same thing to my clients. I said, think of the 3, like if somebody were to say, why am I choosing you as a real estate agent? I should be able to wake you up in the middle of the night and you should be able to tell me like that. Because I'm a great negotiator, because you know what, I lead a seamless transaction, whatever it is, but not too much. Because I help them buy and sell house. Well, they've heard that a million times. That's going back to when we said downtime, not just projectors. I tell all of my clients, I said, I want you to take 2 days off a week, 2 full days off. What? Real estate agents, they're supposed to work 7 days a week.
My wife is a real estate agent. I know.
Oh, really?
She has 1 day off.
But it's like that book, 10X is easier than 2X, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that book, the 10X is easier than 2X? So it's like easier to 10X your business than 2X. And that's by taking time off, because you can't think creatively and outside of the box if you're going with your head down to the ground. You're going to miss opportunity because you're like this. You got blinders on. That's how I used to be. Task to task to task. And I just went nowhere. I just wore myself out. So what you're saying is really get people to understand where their strengths are, where their areas of expertise are, right? So like when somebody's building a niche, when you're helping them find their niche, would you narrow it down to like 3 specifics, or?
I like to start them off with the title, something. I like to give them something to hold on to.
Okay.
A lot of clients will go, well, I'm good at this and I'm good at that. I have one client who her specialty is working with people, helping them with phobias, overcome phobias, and also sleep. Like her whole thing, like she's got programs to help people get better sleep. And then there's the phobia stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying
Kind of.
they're in the same basket, but not really. But I said, we can still focus on both of those things that you specialize in. But I said, let's nut it down. Where is your skill set? What have you studied the most? What have you, and she's a very, very well educated woman, and it's all been about the brain. And
Mm.
so so, and here's the thing, she's one of these super compassionate, empathic, lovely people. She's not all just booky brainy, like, sciency. She is compassionate and lovely. She's
Mm-hmm.
Australian,
Mm-hmm.
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with the title. I said, okay, I'll give her a plug. Hello, okay, Helen Dugsdale, the brain coach who cares.
Oh, I
She
love
went, oh, I love that because I am
combining
a
both.
brain coach,
Yes, the
but I'm not
tagline.
just a brain coach because it sounds kind of
Yeah, that
sciencey.
sounds a little scientific, a little cold. It kind of almost
But the
sounds
brain
cold.
coach who cares,
Sure.
immediately she's compassionate.
Yes.
Immediately she's a nice lady, right?
Yep. Yep.
And then the rest, all of the other stuff that we put in with the video content or the copy for her website will reflect that. But I
Right.
like to give people something to hang on to, and then we build their expert authority. It's branding. It's basic. It's
Exactly.
branding.
And I think a tagline's important too, right?
Oh, it really does help. I'll have my one of my mantras, or it's not really a tagline, but it's a mantra that I have on the bottom of just about every single page on my website. It says, "Remember this: if you're not seen and heard, you're not hired."
Oh, I love that. I love that.
It's not trademarked yet, but you
You
can
know
use
what?
it
I
if you
want to
like.
talk to you about that just for a minute. I'm going down a little thing here, but how many people do you think that you come across are afraid to be seen?
Oh,
Almost everybody?
almost everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
They're
so.
afraid to be seen.
Mhm.
uh they're afraid to be seen because they're afraid that people are going to see into something that they want to keep, right?
Right.
But
And
also
what
that
would
they're
you
going to be judged.
and what would you say to somebody like that? They're like afraid that something's going to come out. Well, you know what? I would say get to a point where you have nothing to hide.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you feel like I've got a lot of stuff that I did wrong in my life, I am willing to share it because like we started off by saying, I'm willing to share it to help other people. I think that we all are trying to do, I don't like that word. I feel like we're all doing the best we can at every moment that we are in. And I think that we need to be gentler on ourselves and be more compassionate and empathy. I mean, I just did this deep inner child work and it was
Oof.
so powerful. It brought me back to my 5 year old. Okay. And it's like, would I ever treat any 5 year old the way that I've treated my inner child? No. Like, no
Right,
wonder I was
right.
feeling like all I do is work. I'm not having any fun. I don't even know what I liked. Now I'm starting to get a grasp, but it's like, and my inner child was sitting there going, oh, acting out and all that. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast, obviously, but let's go. Well, here's another question. When someone feels stuck between self doubt and imposter syndrome, what's the mindset shift or confidence code that helps them finally step in their spotlight? We kind of covered that, but
Yeah, I think, I mean, really that key thing is going back to why you got started in the first place,
yes.
doing what you're doing. And if it's to help people, if it's to if it's just solely to make money, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Some of the people that also have the biggest imposter syndrome are actors. So actors they feel more comfortable playing somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why they're so good at
Yeah.
playing other people and
Yeah.
characters,
Right.
because they don't like this part, right?
Right.
So depending on what your business is, now if you're an author, you have a little bit of leeway, but if you're a coach or you're a public speaker or somebody that
You
needs to
have to
get
be
out on
out
this,
there and
you
confident
got to
in
be
your
out there.
skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to where, with somebody who's running a service-based business and might feel overwhelmed and a little bit invisible, where do they start? The people that do feel invisible.
They need to have a mentor or a guide, someone like yourself, someone like myself,
Mm-hmm.
to start them and with a solid foundation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because again, that overwhelm and not knowing what their brand is and not knowing what they need to focus in on can be so overwhelming that people just they don't start. They don't start their business, or they give up. And so we don't want that to happen, because we also want you to fulfill your dream, your whatever your passion is. We want you to fulfill it, but we also want that ripple effect, so
Correct.
that you get to touch the lives of other people and help them, right?
And
So you need to have somebody that can see, basically step away from that isolated view that you have of you and your business, and can look at it from a different perspective,
objective.
an
Object-
objective
Mhm.
perspective.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that might be a mentor, that might be a teacher, that might be a coach. But definitely try and find out what's there before you give up.
Well, you are so much more than I even thought. I mean, I thought this was going to be an interview about, how you get a podcast going and how that helps out, which we're talking about. Are you an empath and an HSP by any chance?
Yes.
Okay. That
Evident,
makes
definitely.
sense now. That's why you can help people on
Yes.
the emotional level too. Because
Yes.
I mean,
Because I've also been the victim of grand narcissists, which is
oh,
fun.
well,
That's-
well, no, as HSPs, they're drawn to us, and
yes.
they're drawn to
Well,
us.
we're their fuel source, I think, is what it is. But
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. We could.
But yeah.
I started
But
off
the
saying,
idea
"How
about
long
the
is this interview
podcast,
going to be?" And I said, "It's going to be, 45 minutes."
I
And
know,
and I go,
no,
"No, no, no, we're going to do with Joe Rogan 3 hours. Hey, you might have to miss your matinee." No.
no, but just to get back to the podcasting, that's one of the tools in our toolbox,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So if I'm looking at a client, it depends on their personality. Some
Right.
people I will say, no, you don't need to have your own podcast. Other people, their personality, what they've got, yes, that's one of the best marketing tools in the business, is to have a podcast. And you get to meet amazing people who are guests on your show, or people that you would like to have as a client, or collaborate with, do a co-venture with. You invite them on a podcast. Very few people will refuse to be a guest on a podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Oprah or something,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want her anyway.
Yeah.
But a podcast is a great tool, and there's repurposing. You can, from the episodes, you can create social media content, you can write chapters in a book. There's all kinds of things. So that's a great tool. But some of my clients, their personality is not one to host and run a podcast. Their
So then would
personality
you
is
would
to be
you
a
you
guest on
would
a podcast.
be a guest on a pod, so you help them find their niche and also the best way to
Yes.
find their voice and express which avenue how to express
Yes.
it, right? Whether it's
Yes.
writing, if they're maybe an
Yes.
amiable or something like that. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Can you walk us through how podcast guesting and personal storytelling can turn? Well, we already just talked about that, I think, and even create new clients. Well, no, let's talk about that for a minute. So, podcast guesting and personal storytelling, how can that create into new clients?
Yes.
Well, because we are
Podcast.
relatable, right?
Right. Well, and podcast guesting is fantastic for you, because first of all, your SEO goes up, your name, your website, who you are goes onto the internets, right? And now we want to be searchable not just by Google, but by ChatGPT. We want to be the ask engine optimized. We want to make sure that we're showing up in ChatGPT. And one of my questions, and the
Yes.
quiz that I have that people are able to do, is I do ask you to Google yourself. And I think I want to go in and change that question, and ChatGPT yourself. Like,
When you said that, I'm going to do that after I get off with you. I'm going to chat GPT because I have Googled myself. But I didn't realize that by having a well, I guess any form of media, yeah, you're going to be going up in the algorithms, and
and if you're a guest on the show, it just helps get your name out there, right?
Mhm,
But then you
mhm.
also have a library of content that you can use. You can take highlight clips if it's a video version of a podcast. Take those highlight clips and throw them up on social media. Make a TikTok out of them. You
Yeah,
can
I already do that. I do that to promote the show. Yeah. So,
Yeah. But as a guest, if let's say you have a client, Tina, and you want to get them exposed, being a guest on a podcast is amazing,
yeah.
because you're reaching an audience you could never reach.
Hey, real quick,
Right.
let's talk about something we all deal with, but never really think about. Electromagnetic radiation.
Yeah, EMF. It's everywhere from our phones, laptops, Wi-Fi routers, even our smart fit fridges. And no, I'm not saying ditch your tech. I mean, who could? But I am saying you can protect yourself from unnecessary exposure with Aries Tech. Backed by peer-reviewed studies and independent testing, Aries Tech makes compact, science-backed EMF modulation devices that help reduce the effects of electromagnetic radiation on your body. Rather than blocking EMFs, Aries Tech's products work with your own body's electromagnetic field to balance out the effect. Yes, you heard that right. Our body is made up of energy, and this works with your own energy to balance out the effects. I've got one around my neck, one on my phone, and one in my living room. And honestly, it gives me peace of mind knowing I'm doing something small that can make a big difference over time. So whether you're working from home, gaming for hours, or just scrolling your feed in bed, protect your space. Check them out at ariestech.com and use the code TINA25 for 25% off your order. That's AIRES tech.com because your body deserves that. Right.
And
Exactly.
it also helps your client, and this is what happens with me and my clients, it helps them in their speaking abilities. Every single interview they do. And then
So
you
true.
analyze that interview. Say, how was that strategy? Did it work? Did you come off? No, one of the things is with storytelling is it brings the audience in. So when I started off, when we were talking, I could have started off and said, "Oh, I've been a coach for this, and I do this, and I do that, and I've graduated." Blah. But when I started saying, when I was 5 years old, watching my mom get
Mhm.
ready, there was a large portion of the audience that
That
related to
listen,
that,
that can relate to that. Yeah.
and they saw that little girl with her mom who looked like Cher, right? So
Yeah.
you're painting a visual picture. And does that have anything to do with the coaching work that I do today?
No.
It does, but it doesn't. But it's cemented in
Yeah,
the
it does.
listener's
Yeah. Yeah.
mind,
Yeah. Yes.
someone who's relatable and someone who's authentic.
And someone who is using their innate abilities. This is an
Yes.
innate ability that you have. And
Yes.
circling back around, that's why when you're thinking about imposter syndrome, think to yourself, there is nobody else like me. All I have to do is recognize my own greatness and bring it forward and narrow the niche. That's really what you have to do.
Yes. And there's no ego involved in that. There is no
No.
ego.
Well,
When
and
you
we become from a world if we talk about ourselves. I mean, no wonder somebody can't articulate who they are in this world without, going doing some of the work or whatever. Because, that's being, braggadocious or that's being arrogant. No, it's not. It's not at all. Yeah.
You need to tell people, you know what? If you're a heart surgeon and you're the best damn heart surgeon in the world,
Yeah.
you better tell people. You need to stand
Exactly.
up on, you need a megaphone. And I am the best damn. So that's what, when people go, my wife's a real estate agent. And I say, you need to, she's Australian though. So Australians, they're like, oh, you can't be too big. You can't, they have tall poppy
That's
syndrome
so
here.
funny. And you're married to her and you're like,
Yeah. And
oh,
I'm like, you need to say you're the number one agent in all of the Anna Bay, New
I
South
tell my
Wales. And
clients
she's
that,
like,
yep, it's
yeah.
the way
She's like,
you
no,
say it
no,
too. It's the way you say it. You
of
could say
course.
something like, if you want the best, you're going to want to work with me. And here's why.
Exactly.
I'm going to get it
Exactly.
done. I'm going to get the highest price for your house. I'm not going to leave any money on the table. You know what I'm saying? Back it up.
Yeah.
Tell us about your 90-day expert authority acceleration program. So it clarifies your message so your
Yeah.
audience instantly knows why you're the one they've been searching for. Show up confidently, which we are just talking about online, on camera, and in the media without the overwhelm or imposter syndrome, and scale your visibility and credibility so opportunities, clients, and collaborations come to see you. So, okay, so we've talked about clarifying your message. You're going to do that on your one-on-one call that's a
Yes.
complimentary call, right? And you ask
Yes.
10 questions. Is that what you were saying earlier?
Yes. And in discovery call, we first of all I just find out a little bit about you, who you are, what you've been doing, and then
Mm-hmm.
we go through that quiz. And it's basically so that you can actually think about these questions yourself. But then we're going to go through it, and I'm going to basically highlight some of the things that I see immediately in that, even just that 30 minutes, what I see that can be brandable, that can be marketable for you.
Okay.
But the 90 days, I need to have that time with people in order to have any sort of momentum, right?
Totally.
We start off with the foundation. A lot of times people are already trying to reach for the stars before having a foundation. You don't let people into your house if you don't have a solid foundation.
Yeah.
You don't build your house on sand. You don't build it on water. You build it in a way that is going to be sustainable. And so we start with that, with the business and the
Mm-hmm.
branding. Who are
Mm-hmm.
you? And
Mm-hmm.
why? And it's blatant, but why are people going to want to pay you?
Right. Right. Exactly.
Why should they pay you?
Yeah. You have to
Right?
provide the value because it's never about the money.
It's no. And
It's never about the money. I mean,
it's making sure that all the messaging is done. So we work on everything from your brand. I take a look at your website. If you don't have a website, then we talk about that. But also how people pay you. How do people book time with you? How do they pay you? If it's complicated, if it's like a Jerry's Deli menu, then people are not going to. So you
mm-hmm.
need to make it simple, simple and easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing. If it's
Mm-hmm.
complicated, you'll lose people. So
Exactly. Like a website that's hard to navigate, forget it. The people will
yeah.
just, do you know that we have the less of an attention span than goldfish? Goldfish have like 7 seconds. We have like 6. They have like 8 or something like that. Isn't that crazy? I knew
Well,
I'd
that
make
tells
you
you a
laugh.
lot. Doesn't that tell you a lot also about how quickly we need to get that message out?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, so when you talk about scale the visibility and credibility, would you say you then direct them to what avenues, like let's say being on a podcast or doing more on social media? So you're very
But I
familiar.
actually walk them through that whole process. So
You
I don't just
do.
say you need to be a guest on podcast. Good luck. No, I actually help get them. I help. I'm not an agency, a podcast booking agency.
Right.
But I do help them. I do get them booked on shows, on
Okay.
podcasts. If that's the direction that we want to go. I don't start putting them on podcast shows or getting them booked on really great shows that are perfect for them until the house has been built. Because you don't want to get on a show and promote things that you don't have ready. If you don't have that signature program, you don't have those offers, you don't have it all set up, then it's a waste, right?
Right.
So we build the foundation, make sure that you have your offer, your even if a discovery call, anything like that, we have it all set up. And then once we have all of that, and you got your media kit, you're confident in who you are,
Hmm.
and we'll even do mock interview type things where
Role playing. Role
I'm
playing. Yeah.
yeah, role playing.
Yeah.
And then we'll get them on the podcast. Or some people, they've got a book, they've got a best-selling book right there. They're sitting on a best-selling book and they don't know it. And that's one of the things that help your expert authority is to be a bestseller. So we'll go that avenue if we need to. I'll look at their social media. If they've got like a really huge following, but they need help on their social media, we'll work on that. And if they have a trademarkable title, then that's one of my tips as well for being an expert authority is trademark it. That little TM, when people see it,
Hmm.
it immediately, it's almost like having a doctor in front of your name. When they see that TM, they go, that person is professional, or they are serious enough that they trademarked that title or that
I
phrase.
haven't done that yet. Probably something
Trademark.
that trade
It's not expensive. It just takes a little bit of paperwork. And
trademark.
then eventually once it becomes a registered trademark, you get the little R with the circle. I don't even use that. I use the TM because people
Yeah.
don't know when they, and it's a flash, it's a subliminal thing.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
When
It's
people see, and you use that TM in everything, you use it on your Zoom name, you use it on your website, you use it on your books, anything that you have with that little TM, it tells people that you are professional,
right.
and it just
So for me, it
brings
would
you
be
up a notch.
transparent with Tina. It wouldn't be my name. It would be the name of
Yeah,
my
transparent with Tina. You could, yeah, absolutely. And
So
that
the
could be all your program, all your programs and your books and all that stuff.
yeah, I have to get a little bit more flow with that too, because even like my podcast channel is called Transparent with Tina. But that was the other question I was going to ask you. If somebody has a podcast like myself, do you think it's important for them to also air it on YouTube? So, because I think
Oh
some
yeah,
people like
yeah,
to watch and some people like to listen, right?
yes, yes. It's a
That
missed
YouTube
opportunity.
channel is under Tina Marx TV because that should probably be the same as my podcast name, which is Transparent Tina.
Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to market and what you're trying to really work on the brand. So if Tina Marx is the brand, but under Tina Marx, she's got a podcast, she's got a book, she's got a program, she's a keynote speaker, then I would focus on Tina Marx,
Right. Okay.
right? If Transparent with Tina is the whole thing, the kit and caboodle, then I would focus on that. But it seems it might be that Tina Marx is the, you know, that's the brand,
That's the
right?
brand.
And then
See
and
why I
then
need to book a call with you? I'm
and
trying to
I
get
can't help myself.
trying to get
I'm
a
like,
free session here.
I'm adjusting the picture, the painting in the restaurant. I'm like, well, that's just what I would do. Yeah.
So let me ask you, the 90 days, is that a group online or is it?
No,
Oh,
that's
it's
one on
not.
one, babe.
That's
No.
one-on-one. So how often, tell us what they get with that. How many times a
Yes.
week or a month do they
So
get you or
so they get me. It's a very high contact with me.
okay.
So basically, how it works is you have to sign on for a commitment of 3 months. It's like a membership subscription,
And I'm
whatever.
going to back you up there. When I
Yeah.
do my private life coaching, because my real estate coaching is I'm an independent contractor for the largest real estate coaching company in the world. But when I do my life coaching, I say it's a minimum of 3 months,
Has to
and
be.
it has to be because you know what? If, let's say by the second month you're going to go, I'm not seeing any value in this. I mean, you can't turn somebody's life around in a month. And things also couldn't get a little bit sticky. Things might start coming up for them. They might start getting a little scared, the imposter syndrome or whatever. It's too easy to back out, right? But the three
Yep.
month mark, they're gonna see some shift, some value in it. Yeah. So I
Oh, huge
yeah,
value. I
yeah.
I have clients in the very first session because each session is 2 hours long. We
Wow.
meet every single week. Okay.
Okay. All
So
right.
by the end of the 3 months, you've got 24 hours with me.
Wow.
Everything's recorded, but I have clients who say in the first session, that first 2 hours, they got more out of that 2 hour first session with me than they had working with coaches, and they spent tens of thousands of dollars there because my secret, I keep it simple, easy, and fun.
And you're detailed. That's it too.
And
You
I communicate
yes.
to my client the way they're able to hear and learn.
Mhm.
Not everybody's the same,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So you have to be really tailored when you're speaking to somebody to hear how they're listening, if
Well,
that makes sense.
exactly. And that's where your HSP and empath comes in because
Yes.
you can
Yes.
feel people 5 times stronger than the normal person, right?
Yes.
So how does somebody become an authority in their field?
They work with me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I mean that's a great answer. I mean, seriously, I don't know. Here's the way I look at it. People, oh, I don't want to spend the money and this and that. And it's like, well, you want to spend the next 10 years going circling the drain?
Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like that, right?
Well, and
Um,
I've done it so that it's actually I'm very, very affordable for the time that I spend with people. That accelerator program is under $1,000 a month. It's 888. I don't because it's a magical number,
888
right?
for is that
Eight
because
eighty 888 a month, and I'm with you every single week. 2 hours, 2 hours each week. So two, four, six,
that is
8 hours.
that's very, very
Yeah.
uh,
And you're only committed to 3 months. And here's the kicker. This is the cool thing, is that all of my accelerator clients that I have now, they're past the 3 months. They're sticking with me. They're staying with me. You don't you don't have to stop after 3 months. You can
yeah.
still work with me.
You're just that's the
And
requirement.
the minimum requirement is 3 months.
Did
Yes.
you choose 888 because it's an angel number?
Yeah.
What? I knew it. What is it? What does it mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean? What does 888 mean? Do you know?
I don't even know I don't even know what because if you look it up, it means different things to different people. It's always a
Right.
different definition. I just liked it as above, so below. I liked its eternity.
Oh, it's the
Um,
eternity too. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, my
Um,
mastermind membership. I make sure that the monthly membership for that is $111. 111.
Yes, I saw that. Well, that's one of the 1111 is the most powerful number on the planet. The ones, yeah, exactly. So before we go into that, okay, so we've talked about the 90 days, 2 hours a week for when you say months, it could be tricky because some months are 5 weeks. You're saying 2 times a week for 4 weeks.
You have up to four sessions a month.
4 sessions a month. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm glad we
Up to
clarified.
four sessions. I'm not. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna keep
I'm
saying
gonna I'm
people.
gonna lock you into that extra one because they're five
Yeah,
weeks.
no. They get up to four, and they get up to four sessions. They don't have to take all four sessions, but most people do because
Okay.
they're learning a lot. So
And then before we get into the mastermind group and the mastermind group, which is $111. Before we get in
yeah.
that, can you just tell us one transformational story of, let's say, one of your who you've helped as an entrepreneur? What's possible?
Um.
Someone that owns their expert
Yeah.
authority.
So Oh my gosh, there's so many of them that I have. Let's take Barbara Savin, who's one of my favorite people on the whole planet, a wonderful healer, magical lady, master healer, uh, um, a hypnotherapist for 40
Yeah.
something years, had an office in Los Angeles, had celebrity client, like big time celebrity clients, but only a few people knew about her. And it was very high intensity time on her part to work with people.
Hmm.
And she always wanted a podcast. Now she was in her 70s
Hmm.
and she wanted to reach a larger audience. And so with her, I worked on helping her brand, creating the podcast, showed her how to create the podcast, not only how to, record, edit, publish, market it, and all that stuff. Now she's got 150 podcast episodes. She's interviewed Pat Benatar. She's killing it.
Oh my gosh.
And
I
she's
love
reaching a much wider audience. She's reaching a global audience. Now she's getting new clients on Zoom. So she doesn't have to go, to her office and they don't have to drive to her and it's time intensive.
Oh
She can
yeah.
actually she can actually do healing and working with them on Zoom,
On Zoom.
international. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And your mastermind is group and it's twice a month, right? Two
Yes.
two calls a month. And how long is the call?
It's every other Monday.
Every Monday.
So like on this in for December, because it's a long month, they're getting three sessions and as opposed to like the normal like two. And it's a small group. It's a very small supportive group. And I'm actually very picky on who comes in, because I'm very protective of this group. When they're sharing their ideas and their business goals and some of the things they're doing, it's a very private and protected area. And
Okay.
I want everybody to feel safe to say what they're doing and to share that information. But we have people that are doing collaborative work together. I bring in experts. I would love to have you come in and be an expert guest speaker.
Oh,
You
I'd
can
love
come in
that.
and talk to the group.
Yeah.
I love bringing in experts, on LinkedIn, and we've had self-publishers. We've got a gentleman who's coming in talking about audiobooks. If you're an author, if you've written a book, don't forget you can have an audiobook, and that audiobook can reach a whole new audience
Mhm.
and also bring in a little bit of money, but and they're fun to create. I think they're
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. So do you have like a cap on how many people? The reason I asked that, there was this other woman on Instagram that she had a free mastermind and was like, oh wow, it just really spoke to me that day. And it was like $47 a month, but it was like 1,000 people on there. It's like
No, no,
it's
I have less
for a
than I
$111 a month, then you could do it where it was 20 it was a smaller group. But
This is
if
a
you can't get
small
your
group.
questions answered or whatever, it's like, I mean, I'm not here to just sit there and be a bystander. So do you top out at a certain amount for that group? Like, do you have not take more than 20 people? And is it evergreen?
Yeah. Again, and all the sessions are recorded, so everybody has access to them if they can't
Okay.
make it. It's
Hmm.
for Americans, it's always Mondays, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 East Coast.
Hmm.
Um, it's a small group, and it's because that I don't know if it's that Nephilim energy. I only bring in the people that are going to be a good fit,
Hmm.
right? The
Hmm.
other ones kind of, just weigh themselves out. I've got only we've got a dozen people, a dozen women. They're all women, and it
Yeah.
just so happens to be
Well,
women.
you started off by saying you work primarily with women, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
But it's all women that are in the group. It's only 12 at the moment, and I don't even I don't even market it. I don't really push it because I want to have the right people come in. The soulful woman
I feel
premier,
the same way. I turn clients away. If I don't feel like
yeah,
it's a good fit, I don't care. It's just,
yeah.
it takes too much of my energy and it's not helping them either. Uh, okay, so the best place for anybody to start is what's the best way to contact you?
Go right to the website. They can go to expertauthoritycoach.com.
Right?
And when they go there, there's all kinds of different buttons and calls to action to book that discovery call.
Yes.
And in that discovery call is when we can do the quiz and get a rating for your expert authority-ness. But then they can also ask me any question during that time. And it's
Exactly. And
recorded
then
for
you
them
can
as well.
point them to the right, whatever they would need.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Perfect.
And
Well,
I'm also a
listen,
believer that I don't have that scarcity mindset. I'm also a believer that if I'm not the right fit for them, and I know of a coach or mentor who is, I will send them in that direction.
I hear
Um,
you.
I believe wholeheartedly because my idea is to make sure that especially women entrepreneurs are supported in the right way,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And I want to make sure that they have that success. So if it's not me and it's another person, I will also let them know that as
Of
well.
course, I know that. I could feel that about you, and that's why you're the real deal, man. I am so happy to have.
You're the real deal, Tina Marx.
Thank you. I'm so glad that we connected, and thank you everybody for joining us. I know you probably got a lot of value out of this, as I certainly did. So contact Christine, and thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. It's Tina Marx TV. And of course, my podcast is on Spotify, Apple, and that is under Transparent with Tina. We will see you next week. Thank you so much, Christine, for being here. Absolute
Thank you,
pleasure.
Tina. I had a blast.